Okay. Oh, hey there. A beautiful Sunday morning. I'm off for a ride to work. It was a frost this morning, but about 9 o'clock now, and the frost has melted, and it's time to go to work. Well, I might take you guys along. It's thing is, because with the new commute, there's new hazards, and the question is, will she start? Was there ever any doubt? Can I tell you, no, of course there was. Okay. I hope. It's off to work and go. First hazard is a rough driveway. So my new commute, in terms of time, is about the same as it was when we were living in Limbo and I was up in Auckland and commuting in from West Auckland. Well, actually, during rush hour, there's another hazard, muddy wild turkey. During rush hour up there, it could take me up to an hour and a half to get to work. A little bit quicker on the bike because you can filter, but that takes so much energy mentally. By the time I get to work, get ready for a cup of tea and a lie down. In that situation, I prefer to be in the car, in the van, having a nice cup of tea, listening to the music, and just chilling. So it was a dark and stormy night, about the third or fourth shift I'd ever done up here, down here. Came round this corner, came to a screeching halt right here, and there was that tree, which you can see the stump of there, right across the road and over that fence there. And you can imagine one of these big poplars falling over. It absolutely blocked the road completely. So I had to come to a screeching halt, and there was no getting under it or over it or around it. So I had to turn around and go the long way to work. So that morning, instead of being 10 minutes early, I was 10 minutes late for work. But at least there's an alternative route. Pretty poor cell phone coverage here, so I couldn't call the council's emergency line straight away. I finally got into cell phone coverage, gave them a call. Well, thanks for that, we'll let our crew know. So by the time Mrs. B headed off to work, it had already been cleared off and the road was open again. But of course there was a lot of debris on the road. So she trundled on her merry way, and she said she got a little bit further down the road here. So we don't get a hell of a lot of traffic on this road. There are people that commute into town up here, and of course there's always the farmers and their utes and trucks. But when I'm coming home or going to work in the small hours or whatever, I often have the road to myself, and it has all sorts of different surfaces and states of repair. Like just here was resealed, probably a year ago, quite a coarse seal, and it's still got loose stones on it. And then we come on to some slightly better stuff. Anyway, Mrs. B was travelling along that morning. Down here, the council truck came to a stop, and she stopped behind it, and there was another tree across the road right here. And the guy came up to her and she said, should I go round? And he said, well, there's a digger on a truck behind you, so it won't take too long. And the digger came along, trundle, and with his arm he grabbed the tree and made a one-lane pass for her. A few days later another tree fell over, so that's there. We've had some windy weather the last couple of days, and so this one's about to come down and do its thing too. So the first one I call Marty's tree, and the second one, that's Trish's tree. So I guess I'm getting to know the road pretty well along here. It's like anything, no matter what you're doing, you get a little bit too familiar, and that's when you can end up in trouble. There's all sorts of bumps and potholes and things, and You could be going along thinking, oh yeah, this is a good part of the road, and suddenly there's a pothole that's been opened up overnight or something, you know. You've really got to be on the ball coming down here. The bloody wild turkeys, the suicidal rabbits, the occasional crazy cat. I've even come across a stray working dog that must have got out from somewhere, and oh, there's a bump. I forgot about that one. And you feel every little bump and hollow on this bike. It lets you know if you hit the wrong one at the wrong speed, then you bum all up through your spine. Well, this is about the second attempt at this video. The first one, camera on the front, not that one, this one, was on the wrong angle, so all you could see was that. So hopefully I've got it on the right angle this time. So, another dark and windy night. Mrs. B came across this bridge. There was emergency services all over the place. A car had hit that. We think it must have come around the corner back there, spun out and hit it. This was about 4 weeks ago now, it might have been even more. And this is the car. And so the back of it, as you can see, is all smashed in. It's slowly getting more and more stripped, I think, but did some serious damage. And when Mrs. V turned up, the wheels are starting to disappear completely, using the jack from the car, I guess. Yeah, the jackals are into it. Anyway, Mrs. V turned up there. I was waiting for her at home. I had a 3 o'clock start or something, so I just wanted to see her before I went to bed. The emergency guy said, well, they've just got them out of the car into the ambulance, so we should have you clear pretty soon. She said it took about 20 minutes before she was able to get through. She sent me a text to say that I might as well go to bed because, you know, there was an accident and she was waiting for it to be cleared. But I was watching YouTube videos or something, and I must have fallen asleep because I woke up just as she was arriving home. I thought, oh good, she's here. I didn't realise that like a 45 minutes, an hour had passed. As she's getting out of the car, her text comes in to tell me I might as well go to bed. So we come on to one of the nicest stretches of the road, and when we first bought the house, coming up 2 years ago, they were doing roadworks right here, all the way here and down the hill. So this is fairly recent, major bit of work that they've done on this road. Goes for, I don't know, kilometres something down the hill. Made it very nice. So when I'm in a bit of a hurry to get to work, you can open it up down here. Right, of course, all the things got to come to an end. And down here it's a 45k curve. So another dark and stormy night when my son was down here for a work conference and he was staying with us getting rides home with Trish. They came around here one dark and stormy night, and that branch was across the road. So Christopher said, I can move that, Mum. She jumped out, dragged it off, and that's where it stayed ever since. So the first tree is Marty's tree, the second one's Trish's tree, and that one's Christopher's tree, but only in my head. So from that nice little bit of road, we come on to this rough bit. And 2 or 3 months ago, they came and they chopped down a lot of trees and foliage and stuff that was up this bank. And we thought, well, maybe they're going to carry on the improvements, fix up this part. And maybe they are, but it hasn't started yet. Maybe that's in next year's budget or the 5-year plan or something. And wandering stock, that's another hazard that we have, of course. Although, I must admit, not too often. Not too often. I mean, that's their livelihood, isn't it? So they try to keep them in the paddock as much as they can. I have come across 3 or 4 times where there's been a stock out, generally call into the next house and say, oh, it's got it over there. They say, oh, thank you, yes, we'll go and deal with it. So there's another nice little bit. You can generally open it up a bit. So this part of the commute from home to Red Bridge, in my head, that's the first half, if you like. That's about 20, 25 minutes. Little tiny house down there. Quite the trend these days, aren't they? A way for a young couple or a single person to get onto the property ladder, as they call it. Bloody glad I'm not starting out now. Into a twisty bit along here. The road can be a little bit bumpy and potholy, and again it pays to be careful. Down another nice little twisty bit with a fairly good road surface. They did some work here a while back. Another fairly good bit with a couple of nice straights. Big paddock in there. Seen all sorts of events going on there. A lot of horse stuff goes on. Horse jumps and things, and they set up. There's also a windsock here, so sometimes it gets used as an airfield. You see a light plane at the end there. It probably belongs to one of the rich houses up the top there. It's some pretty valuable property, because there are more twisties, and then we'll be at Red Bridge. And there's one of those paragliders up there. If the camera can pick that up, he must be getting a nice view. There's a road on the right here that comes down the hill from a place called Waimarama and Ocean Beach. A lot of people live out there. Quite a community. That can be quite a dodgy bloody intersection. And this is Red Bridge. The only thing red about this bridge are the post at either end that goes over the Tuki River. And there's the two red columns at the end. But it's called Red Bridge because the original bridge was wooden, went across there somewhere, and it was red Bridge. So I guess that's the end of the first part of my commute off our road, and now we start heading into civilization. So we'll make that a second video, and thanks for watching.